Hey friends, this is Jennifer Terri. I make Philippine Travel Updates. Shorter quarantine! Wala pa! There's still no date as to the start of the shorter quarantine. Hay nako, ilang araw ba mag-finalize? How long do they need to finalize, right? Anyway, the Department of Secretary supports the shorter quarantine, of course. According to Secretary Puyat, the Department of Tourism stands squarely behind the call of President Duterte to shorten the quarantine period for fully vaccinated travelers. This is a crucial step towards eventual resumption of international travel once our borders reopen, leading to the recovery of the pandemic-hit sector. So yes, guys, this shortened quarantine is one of the steps needed to, finally reopen our country. And Secretary Puyat has been very clear that when foreign tourists would be allowed, she wants zero quarantine. But I think we can reopen with even quarantine. I think there are a lot of foreigners who would want to come here even with quarantine, like let's say, 5 days. Especially partners of Filipinas, I think 5 days is nothing. If you really want to come here for somebody, right? Of course, shortened quarantine is June na. It's more overdue. Travelers have very limited time in the Philippines. A lot of Filipinos gustong umuwi for December. They want to come home for December to spend the time with their loved ones. And this expensive quarantine hotel for non-OFWs is a big burden. And our government has spent billions of money for the quarantine hotels for our dear OFWs, and that money could have been spent elsewhere, right? This shortened quarantine will also trigger an increase in passenger capacity. Passenger capacity means more flights and less cancellations of flights, right? And it also means that flight tickets would be, cheaper. Because if you've watched my last video, guys, checking the flights to the Philippines, yung mga ticket po pa Pilipinas, grabe guys, ang mahal. For example, yung nakita ko, Los Angeles, mga nasa 1,400, Los Angeles to Manila. But pabalik ng US, flights going back to the US only cost around $500 to $600. Prices of tickets to the Philippines is very, very expensive, guys. Why? Because of travel capacity. But as to questions, when would the Philippines go back to old normal? Because new normal is like, it doesn't look attractive. We want to go back to old normal. That should be the goal. According to the IATF spokesperson, I'll read it in Filipino and translate it. Kapag mayroon na po tayong population protection, magbabalik na tayo sa old normal. According to the IATF spokesperson or presidential spokesperson too, when we reach population protection, we will go back to the old normal. What is population protection? Population protection po means 50 to 60 million Filipinos have already received their full vaccinations, or 50% of our population have been vaccinated. 2 questions, 2 challenges, supply and vaccine hesitancy. When it comes to supply po, actually, we're ramping up. It's looking good. Like currently, sa ngayon po, we have more than 77 million doses. So I'm just gonna use basic math because I'm not an expert. 77 divide 2, just assuming that it's all 2 doses vaccines, diba, mga nasa 35 million na yan, close to 50. And you know what? For this month, we will get like 30.9 million doses. 10 million Pfizer, wow, dami. Moderna, 5 million. Sinovac, 10 million. And 5.9 million US COVAX donation. Thank you. Wow, diba? Kung supply ang pag-uusapan, I think, yes, we are ready and we have the supply for this year. The question though is vaccine hesitancy lang talaga, guys. For now, 31.86% are first dose, while 28.26% ay fully vaccinated na. We will also be vaccinating children natin, 12 to 17-year-olds, and we will be using Pfizer and Moderna for them. Because we want to open our schools. And right now, really the challenge is that we can see that the vaccination rate in the Philippines is actually slowing down. I don't know if it's the LGU or it's just the people. Less people want to get vaccinated, but it's going down. The pace is slowing down. Vaccines have expiration dates. Hindi siya forever. Kahit pa, even though we have a lot of supply, pero walang magpapabakuna, problema po yun. And please know that, the vaccines that we have, inutang pa natin pambili niyan. We have borrowed money just to buy those vaccines. So if they are just going to expire, I think that's the part where it might be mandatory. The President of the Philippines, President Duterte, has so many times shown signs that it may become mandatory or mandated. I've shared this in my community channel, right? In my community tab, and you've read it. Vaccination will be mandatory in certain jobs or industries. It's not impossible for Duterte to do that or to implement that. Not impossible. Anyways, good news for our kababayans in Central Luzon and Calabarzon. I'll speak in Filipino because this only concerns Filipino. Sorry. Vaccinated PH po, kung vaccinated po kayo sa Pilipinas at kailangan nyo ng proof na vaccinated kayo at aalis kayo ng bansa. So maraming bansa nagre-require ng vaccination, right? And there are only 2 options para magkaroon ka ng proof na vaccinated ka na nire-recognize abroad. Yung BOQ Yellow Card at itong Vaccert PH. Now, yung BOQ Yellow Card, mahirap pala sa Luzon. Halos punuan na yung slot. It's hard to get an appointment for the BOQ Yellow Card, especially in Luzon. So, the other option, guys, is actually Vaccert PH. So, yung Vaccert PH po, online tsaka free. Yung BOQ Yellow Card, 300 pesos. Tsaka, you need to be face-to-face pa siya. You need to be actually travel para kunin yung vaccine certificate mo. While Vaccert PH is much better. It's online. It's free. You can do it at home. Tsaka, pwede mong i-download yung certificate mo. So, it's available na po. Vaccert PH is now available in Central Luzon and Calabarzon. Yan. Currently, it's available in Region 3, Region 4A, Region 7, NCR, and Baguio. Now, for those sa mga nasa labas po ng mga regions na nabanggit ko, meaning kung kailangan talaga ng proof of vaccination, BOQ Yellow Card. Lagay ko yung link sa baba. Now, let's talk about travel news in other countries. UK. UK has scrapped or removed their amber list travel rules and it will be simplified. New simplified travel rules will come into force in the UK with the traffic light system replaced by a single red list. We don't feel the effect for travelers coming from the Philippines because as of now, Philippines, it's been months and months. We've been on red list for a long time. So meaning, if you're coming from the Philippines, entering the UK, 10 days quarantine in a hotel, which is also expensive, £2,285. And only UK or Irish nationals or UK residents from red list countries are allowed to enter the UK, unless there are also some exemptions. Now, New Zealand is known to be like a successful COVID-19 country, like they've really wowed the whole world. The big change on the travel to New Zealand, no jab, no fly. Fully vaccinations will be required for air travelers aged 17 and over who are not New Zealand citizens to be fully vaccinated to enter New Zealand. And also, the Air New Zealand announced that it will be introducing no jab, no policy 2 for passengers on all international flights from February 1. So yan guys, I'm not surprised at all. And maybe Australia will follow soon too. While Argentina, good news, will reopen to fully vaccinated international visitors on November 1. All foreign visitors or tourists will be welcome to make a quarantine-free visit as long as they have received approved vaccines and they have a negative RT-PCR test result. Sana all. While Singapore is looking to launch a new vaccinated travel lanes by the end of the year, is in negotiation with several countries in the EU and the US. Ooh. So that is the update for today, guys, with regards to travel in the Philippines and other neighboring countries. So the change, the shortened quarantines, is still no date. There's still no date. They should at least give us a date, no? Because normally they just announce like 1 day, 2 days before. Look, give us a date, you know, get these people excited to come. At least give them some hope. Anyways, I don't think it's in the vocabulary of the IATF to give people time to prepare. No, they've always just announced things like last minute. So maybe the shortened quarantine will be a surprise date, guys. So I'll see you guys tomorrow in another update. Stay safe. Don't forget to like and share this video to anyone who wants to travel or interested to know the travel updates in the Philippines. Stay safe and God bless you. Bye.